Alright, welcome back everybody to another broadcast of the Church of Violence, or Villains, as Twitch will have me spell it, because for some reason it doesn't like the word violence. So anyways, we're back here with Sherlock Holmes, and, well, as I've been saying earlier, it's not a game that I would just highly recommend for any age group. One, the game is incredibly boring. And now you're saying it's like, well, if he finds it entirely boring, why does he still play it? Well, because I'm one of those people that once I start a game, I gotta finish the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to complete the game as a completionist. And so far, I mean, really, and to all the new people who haven't either played the game or was like, well, I'm halfway in between it. Okay, here is like my exact reasons why I don't like the game. And maybe later on in the game, it might change because maybe I'm still in the tutorial of the game or whatever, but I'm really so far not impressed with it. And by that, it's got a horrible map function. Um, and by that I mean you literally just move around in a small area. I mean, the last game that did that was that I've played recently. What was the first Dragon Age, but you actually had a large area map to run around in, and it made sense. And then they kind of changed that in the second and the third game.
I did as you asked and hid.
So it's got that. There's no run option, and the simple fact is you can make as many mistakes as you want, and the game doesn't care. Alright, so we got William Hartley's letter now. So now we're going to go ahead and go back to the police station. You could, like, go in and to your head and put clues together, but I mean, that's not anything really special in my opinion. Ooh, link two things that relate to each other together and it unlocks something new. The thing I have to say is it's a good thing that, like, I got this game for free. I was thinking about purchasing it because I am, like I've been saying in my past two videos, a big Sherlock fan home, and this just surely just disappoints. Like, they could have done so much better with this game, and hopefully either this is a tutorial and it gets better later on, or the game just stays like this. It's really not going to be worth it.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
So, I'm still on the first case here, and
So tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what did you hide?
Hide? What are you talking about?
I did as you asked and hid them well. Should I continue?
My letter? But the ink? That's impossible.
A touch of chemistry, nothing special.
Well, you're a smart one. But it's nothing. If you want to know, I was referring to my tools. It was to do with my work, see?
I will check that, Mr. Hurtley. That's all for now. Hurtley's stories are false leads, but now I know one thing for certain. I must examine the site with a garden tool.
literally you have to keep going back from one place to another the entire time just to get all the information, and that really just gets boring, really old, really fast. And just see, this is like the third or fourth time I've been back to Woodsman Lee just to get a new clue because some other person goes, hey, you need to go back here. See what I mean, though? You just start to get really old when You have to do a compete. Like, you can't just go and get all the clues at once and then just keep going on with it. You literally have to sit there and go one place, go another place, go one place, go another place. And that really just, in my opinion, drags down the game because now you're taking away from the storyline and you're just putting in a very repetitive special look vision that hasn't been done before in many other games. Because I don't think it really brings anything, well, especially for, playing a game that's based off of Sir Conan Doyle's works. Um, Greetings, viewer.
Madam, we have information that the valuable stolen papers are
So,
hidden amongst the garden tools.
you gotta keep coming back and talking to the same people over and over again.
Oh my. Our tools are kept inside the shed that's right behind me. Here is the key to open it.
Now I had to go through a whole bunch of bullshit just to get a key that she could have just given me anyways. The first time I was here and given me all the information, especially if she's worried about her husband being dead.
Let's see what could be hidden here.
Still fitting plank. Oh, and then you gotta do a lot of this. I mean, the only neat part about this game is some of its puzzles are very challenging. Like when you had to find out the back thing and you actually had to build a ship. That got really interesting. Other than that, a lot of it is what you're seeing right here. You just do a whole bunch of walking. There's no running. There's no fast movement or anything else like that. You just literally just walk everywhere. Okay, rotate until the lines match. Well, that was a really easy puzzle. Oh, welcome viewers. So now we're just gonna go ahead and take the letters out and find out what this says.
Letters in a woman's hand with the Carey family monogram. Hurtley and Mrs.
Miss
Carey
Carey,
were in a relationship.
This
That
is
is interesting.
So once again, we're gonna have to go back. First, let's talk to her and see if we have to do anything here. See if she knows anything about these letters.
Madam, I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hurtley.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Correspondence. Of course, like I was saying, is you can't make any mistakes. So anytime you make a mistake in this game, it'll just be like, "Oh, that's not what you're supposed to do," and it'll bring you back right to that conversation.
Why did Mr. Hurtley put them inside the garden shed?
So,
I don't know. I wanted them back, but I couldn't see him, not after what happened.
so anyways, we find out that the wife now is having an affair. Blah blah blah. Husband was drinking a lot in the shed, gets killed.
After what he has done.
You
Horse woman
believe that he
cries.
killed your husband?
No, I
Oh
do
yes.
not know. I do not know. Leave me alone, please.
Thank you, madam. I wonder if Wiggins has managed to find...
And we're gonna go into like brain mode here because let's see here. Carrie Williams letter. Okay, here, so let's try that. And Hartley's letters, no. Judas confession. There we go, that added a new one. The feat of strength. To recover the notebook that has been lying in the pool of the victim's blood. This proves that the guilt of the person who made these attempts. So, anyways, we're gonna continue to walk and go ahead and open our book here. What do we got here? Oh, we got a portrait. We still haven't met this dude, so my guess is it's gonna be a little bit later since we've already met pretty much everybody during this case so far that's gonna give any sort of entry in the book. So let's go ahead and go back to Scotland Yard, because that is where I'm figuring we're gonna have to go. So, anyways, going back so we can talk to William Hartley, because we need to confront him about possibly having an affair with the missus, all this other jazz. Really just get more irritated because now I gotta come back here again.
Wiggins has managed to find any sailors.
Well, and then we can go back to Baker Street to go back to the apartment. See, this is one of those games where it's like it should have been really just an open world, like get to a case, do that kind of map style, but for the most part, like Baker Street and Scotland Yard should be relatively close to each other, that I can run around sailors if I need to be, or talk to the kid. So now I'm gonna go back to Baker Street because we gotta find out if the kid found any sailors. So, oh, welcome viewer. So we're going back again to Baker Street, and we gotta do this whole stupid load map screen because I seriously think that that's what you spend most of the game doing, is just sitting here in the load screen, only to stay at a place for about, you know, about 2 to 3 minutes just to get what you want, and then that's that. And you go back to your load screen for about another 2 minutes, and then it's what really ruins the games is when you have the long wait times just to get from, especially when you have like that kind of a shitty map style.
Mr. Holmes, we found the sailors from that list you gave us.
Well done, Wiggins. Let me see.
So, Hugh Patson Sailor, James Lancaster, Helmsman, Patrick Harring's Harpooner, Ralph Talbot Sailor, John York Cook, and Pablo Coventrow Harpooner. He died a week ago, though.
This is interesting. Let us review the other sailors now. This is interesting. Let us review the other sailors now. This is interesting. This is interesting. Let us review the other sailors. This is interesting. Let us review the other sailors now.
Oh, it's probably Patrick Carnes is
the
the
harpooner, and his initials are PC, the same initials that were found on the tobacco pouch.
Uh-oh. So we found the guy that was whose initials were on
Could you
there.
some information
But
on one of
PC
the
could also
sailors
mean
that you found?
Peter
His
Carey.
name is Patrick.
Patrick Cairns. Sometime later.
We found Patrick Cairns.
Wow, that was fat,
John
kid.
Wiggins, where is he?
He lives in a small furnished dump of a room, but he's always at the Sea Witch pub, where he does arm wrestles for money and drinks.
Of course, a
Excellent.
sailor
Here
at a
is your
pub.
reward, 2 guineas.
What do you get with a
sir?
drunken sailor? What do you get with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? So, missing tin box. Patrick. Okay, wait, let's try missing. And Liam Hurley. No. Okay, so none of those seem to match up. So now we're.
Good gracious, you caught someone. At least now you have a...
Did the telescope? Oh, yeah. Hmm. Go ahead and check our here. Okay, here. So now then. Lock. Let's go with the top. Locked. Locked. Alright, so there's nothing to do there. Top hat on. And now I gotta figure out where to go for the Sea Witch pub. Watson's room? I can indeed go into Watson's room. Dr. Watson. And there seems to be nothing interesting in Watson's room. Patrick Carnes and Peter Carey, not a smoker, seem to match up. But we still gotta find out whether or not he was at this.
Without alarming him, I had better dress as a sailor.
Okay. Disguise yourself as a sailor. Okay, so I guess we're gonna have to go back here. Sailor outfit. Sailor outfit. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and dress as a sailor so
And see if he
we can sneak into a sailor pub. Because why not? We can't just walk in. What we need to do to investigate because it just wouldn't be pleasing to the game. So now we're gonna go back into the wait time. So whoop-de-doo, la-di-da, knows what. Literally. Oh, well that was a pretty fast time. Right there. Normally I wait for a while before it gives me that. Oh, so we're gonna be in here. I'll play some mini game where I had to arm wrestle the dude or something like that. aesthetically pleasing, but only what you gotta do in the game. So far, none of these guys are the people to talk to. Guys got fun. And here we are, Mr. Cons.
Hello there. Are you Cairns?
What do you
Oh, I'm
want?
sorry, Cairns.
We've heard all about the gambling on arm wrestling here. You seem like the likely sort, and I'm up for it.
I start at 10 shillings.
Suits me.
Stalled at 10 shillings. Follow Patrick Cairns' facial expressions to understand his moves. Push, restrain, idle. Ban your counter strategy. Okay. Let's
I'm ready
continue.
to try again.
Are you kidding me? Like, are you fucking seriously kidding me?
I'm ready to try again.
And you know I'm gonna have to beat this motherfucker before it even lets me, like, do anything. Alright. Oh. Alright, now that I got this good, that you don't hold A, you keep repeatedly pushing it. But, okay, let's
I'm
continue.
ready to...
Okay, so we're gonna go in a heated battle here. There we go.
You were lucky. I wasn't focused. Let's go again.
All right.
Ready to try again.
Fine. If you want me...
Right, a little bit. Idle, and go for it. So, come on. Almost there. There we go. So, that's pretty much just how you beat him. Right there, so I went 2 for 2.
Well, good for you, I reckon. You're stronger than you look. Here's your 10 shillings.
I'd like to buy you a drink.
Good winner as well. That's good. Let's have a drink.
That's a good strategy. Let's get him drunk. And then we ask questions. Because that'll...
You're a good type. Seems you've managed to settle down in life. You've got money, eh?
Not all that much.
Oh, well. At least you're not as poor as me.
Why do you say poor? You're not working?
I'm a harpooner. But yeah, they don't pay much. So, as a result, find myself arm wrestling to pay for my drink.
A harpooner?
Oh, a
Interesting.
harpooner.
You've had a lot of adventures, I bet.
Ah, of course. It's been a dozen years since I've sailed. I've seen everything. Gold Wallace, damn Black Peter, Great Roger. We sailed to the Cape of Good Hope.
Black Peter.
Black Peter, you say? I've heard rumors about that one.
He was the worst of them all. He was a liar and violent too. Swinging those fists of his around. He was a tyrant and not much of a captain. At least, not as good as Great Roger.
I see. Yes. I was told terrible tales about Black Peter.
But you ain't heard the worst.
Tell me, and let's have another drink.
It was in 1883 that it happened. The August of that year. Peter Carey was captain of the Sea Unicorn, and I was a spare harpooner. We were coming out of the ice pack on our way home.
No.
One evening, we saw a little craft that had been blown north. There was only one man on her, and he wasn't a sailor. The crew must have thought that she'd foundered, and they made for the Norwegian coast in a dinghy. I guess they all drowned. We man on board.
And who was he?
I don't know. During the crossing, he and the skipper enjoyed some long talks. His baggage was just a tin box.
That's strange enough.
Aye. Even stranger was that on the second night, he disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to him. And of course, nobody could ask Black Peter about it.
Don't you?
I do. I saw the skipper tie his heels and push him over the rail in the middle of my watch on that dark night. 2 days before we sighted the Shetland lights.
Black Peter's a murderer.
Aye. And those that know him wouldn't be surprised to hear it. But all this must stay between us. All right?
Of course.
Hmm. Yellow nails. There's tattoo. And there you go. That's really.
I'm off to the Kazi.
I'll be here with my drink.
Here it is. Have you got any tobacco? I've run out of mine.
Nah, I lost my pouch. I don't know where. Wait a minute. What's this?
Oh, is this your tobacco pouch?
Well, oh, it is.
Well, I have to go now. I know a captain who's planning an expedition to Cape Cod. Captain Ahab's his name. He commanded the Pequod. He might need good harpooners. I'll tell him about you.
Maybe. If you like, aye.
I'm done here. It's time to leave.
Okay, so far we know that there's nothing in between the break-in attempts and the missing 10 box so far. Which goes to say, for and done. So, yard. Do we go back to Baker Street? Our objective say. So maybe we need to go back to Scotland Yard here and find out what we actually need to do here. Here we go, we're going back. Once again, this is the stupid load times that I'm telling you about here. You just sit here, watch him reading a book. Oop-de-doo, la-di-da. And now we can continue. So, anyways, to all of you guys that have been watching this, clearly see that a lot of this has not really been worth the time. Let's go and see if Spectre.
How is the investigation going, Mr. Holmes? Do you have any idea who the murderer is? I'm not saying I...
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
So obviously we've done whatever we needed to do at the Sea Witch. far, there's nothing. Not surprising. Alright, so we're back here at Baker Street.
You met Patrick Cairns, the harpooner. Do you believe he's the murderer?
Alright, so let's go back to Woodsman Lee and talk to his wife to see if she knows any new information.
Leave me alone, please.
Baker Street and dress like a sailor again just to get back to the Sea Witch pub. Yes, because I like my close-ups on Mr. Holmes here. And like I was saying, I'm doing this without any online guide. I know this game is pretty old, so that, you know, there's been a few people that have actually like, well, this game's crappy, but we'll make a walkthrough for it anyways. And of course, people just get the walkthroughs and then they tell people how to do everything, and it's just like, I'm going to not rely on it in this game. Try and actually figure out everything for myself. Okay, so there's got to be something that I'm missing.
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
Question becomes, yeah, in a future case. So, met everybody that I possibly could. So it looks like I'm missing 2 clues. And I really can't think of anything of where they could be, except either I missed something back at the sea. So it looks like I'm missing 2 clues. And I really can't think of anything of where they could be, except either I missed something back at Have to see which pub. Now we know that Peter Cairn stole something. Well, it might be Peter Cairns. I don't remember how you. Whatever, Mr. Cairns. Either took back the box that he found. I figured out what John Nelligan seems not to be the usual thief. What is his role in all of it? Maybe let's go back to Scotland Yard here. Maybe there just literally is something that I'm just not picking up. And I'll just have to see what it is. So, anyways, going on here. We're gonna go back to Scotland Yard. And try to figure out something I've missed or haven't done.
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
I'm not saying
Mr. Holmes?
How was the investigation, Holmes? Do you have any idea who the murderer is yet?
So, anyways. So far, I'm not finding anything that relevant. Oh, that's the staff room. I want to inspect evidence.
These are the suspect's belongings.
Still nothing here. Okay, so let's go ahead and look through my evidence here one more time. Those two don't go together. Alright, so I gotta figure out how to accuse body.
What am I doing here? What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
How to. Well, I'm trying to figure out how to accuse people.
These are the suspect's belongings. I wonder if these are connected.
Oh, okay. So,
not it. No, that's not it.
Maybe it has something to do with 8532. Let's do this
Now we
one.
have the proof that Nelligan's papers were indeed here. It seems that they have vanished, however.
Alright. So, missing papers, breaking attempts. Oh. Oh, snap. The only clue I'm missing is whatever went with the tin box.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and interrogate this dude again.
Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, what exactly were you hoping to find inside Peter Carey's cabin?
I was trying to find some information about my father.
I assume you had another purpose, to retrieve the bond certificates. Am I correct?
Yes. I discovered some time ago that a few of the missing securities had reappeared on the London market. You can imagine my amazement. I spent months trying to find them, and at last I discovered that the original seller had been Captain Peter Carey. These papers, they belonged to my family, but I could not find them there.
That's all for now. Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Papers missing tin box. Okay. So,
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
I'm not saying another word.
Vector. Please proceed to the deduction space. On the conclusion. You have found and utilized all clues in the case. Please proceed to the deduction space. Okay, where is the deduction space? Oh, there is a run button. Open deduction space is Well, of course we're going to condemn him.
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
It was John Nelligan, Inspector.
I thought as much, but I failed to see his motive.
Revenge, Inspector. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
Well then, I'll arrest this Nelligan. I don't fancy his chances of getting out of prison after this.
I will accompany you, Inspector.
So let's see how it plays out now.
You are guilty of the murder of Black Peter. Confess now, and your punishment may be more merciful.
No! I didn't kill him!
Your motive? The valuable securities that Peter Carey stole from your father. Carey refused to return the bond certificates, and then he threatened you. You were afraid, and in your panic, you took the harpoon and made your lucky throw.
But that's not true!
You're a liar, Mr. Nelligan. It's all over now.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
Let's choose another ending. Okay. Alright, here we go. Continue. Go back to the deductions here. Oh.
He was in love with Judith Carey. It caused a conflict that proved fatal for her husband.
I see. Come, let's confront him.
I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna show
Ian
you all the
Berkeley,
possibles
are
that you can
formally
do.
accused of the murder of Peter Carey. We are aware that you were in love with Carey's wife. He was a violent and irascible man. He needed to be eliminated. You had no qualms.
But that's absurd. I'm innocent.
Well, we caught you, lad.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to bed.
Very well.
Let's go ahead and choose another. No, I mean, if you choose, you can choose, I guess, both of them to be innocent if you want. Oh, shit. Oh, well. Oh, okay. Possible conspiracy. Let's go with Nelligan. Ah, welcome, viewer. So as I'm doing is I'm just going and looking
The
at,
case is solved.
just seeing
I
if
am
there's
now
any kind
ready
of
to
possible
present the
alternate
guilty
endings, and there seems to
Tell
be.
me, who killed Black Peter?
There are
Nelligan
two
and
culprits,
Hurtley.
Inspector. Nelligan and Hurtley.
What? Well, I would never have guessed, Mr. Holmes. They are a rotten pair, though.
It was a combination of two motives, culminating in one crime.
What were their motives?
Yes.
The first was revenge. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to
Possible conspiracy. Let's go with Nelligan. Ah, welcome, viewer. So as I'm doing is I'm just going and
The
looking at,
case is solved.
just seeing
I
if
am
there's
now
any kind
ready
of
to
possible
present the
alternate
guilty
endings, and there seems
So
to
tell
be.
me, who killed Black Peter?
There are
Nelligan
two
and
culprits,
Hurtley.
Inspector. Nelligan and Hurtley.
What? Well, I would never have guessed, Mr. Holmes. They are a rotten pair, though.
It was a combination of two motives, culminating in one crime.
What were their motives?
Yes.
The first was revenge. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
And the second?
The second was a crime of passion. Liam Hurtley was in love with Black Peter's wife, and this caused a conflict between him and Carrie.
Well, well, well. Makes sense, Mr. Holmes.
I suggest that you organize a small confrontation between the two, just to confirm my accusations.
That's a good idea, Mr. Holmes. I'll talk to these fellows. Join me in the interrogation room.
So here I go, back to the interrogation room once again.
Gentlemen, we know everything about your association to kill Black Peter. Admit that you planned it together.
Our association? I don't even know this man.
You needed to kill Peter Carey. There had to be two of you there.
Ridiculous. I'm innocent.
All that remains is to determine the level of guilt. Which one of you is the initiator in this case?
But I just told you I've never seen this man before.
It's him. He's the culprit. He was forcing me. He threatened me. He's the mastermind behind it all.
Shut up. You're a lunatic.
Well, it all seems very clear, don't you think, Mr. Holmes?
Inspector, I believe that Nelligan is the true culprit. Hurtley was his accomplice, blinded by his love for Peter's wife.
You've got it wrong. It isn't true.
That's right. I confess.
Well, young man, it turns out you are the gang leader. I don't fancy your chances now.
The case is...
Alright, here. So, the only person we haven't done is Cairns. Pelicans and his- Bruce Guilt.
If you wouldn't mind, Mr. Holmes, could you explain it to me?
As I informed you on our way here, Patrick Cairns is the murderer of Black Peter.
Why bring me here? Wouldn't it be better if we were out looking for him?
That would be futile, as he will be with us in approximately 12 seconds.
Oh, well, if this is your idea of humour...
No, I just heard the front door. Prepare yourself.
Good day, gentlemen. A young lad gave me a note from Captain Ahab. Am I at the right address? Is he here?
Indeed, it is the correct address. But in place of your captain, may I present to you Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard?
That means...
It means, my friend, that you are arrested for the murder of Black Peter.
What? What? A trap? You think you can take me?
Here now. We'll have none of that.
And I say that we will.
Damn, he just took out an inspector. Like he was nothing. Okay. Well, this is interesting.
Oh, did he escape?
Yes, unfortunately.
I thought you...
If...
So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do Cairns, but I think I'm gonna just let him go free. Let's go ahead and continue.
Good afternoon. I must be at the wrong address. I'd like to speak with a ship's captain, a Captain Ahab. Is that you?
No, my name is Sherlock Holmes.
That detective fella? So, you wanted to see me?
That is correct. We need to talk.
About what?
About Black Peter, who was killed in his own hut with a harpoon.
You know, don't ya?
Yes,
How?
the tobacco pouch. You recognized it.
Oh, the sailor. It was you. Unbelievable. Well, fine. I confess. But if you really do know everything, you should also know that I didn't want to kill him. He made me do it.
I know. Did you know about this story with the bond certificates? Did you need money?
Yeah. I just wanted him to cough up a little silver. I'm out of work, and I thought maybe he could help me. Well, he refused outright. I reminded him I knew all about that murder he committed at sea in 1883. Then he got mad when I spoke about his treasure. I barely just had time to throw the harpoon at him before he could jump at me with his knife. You know the truth? What will you do now?
I ask that you return the bond certificates. Keep some of them. You will need them in your exile. It is better that you leave the country for a few years.
And you won't say anything to the police?
I will not say anything as long as you return the money.
Well, I'll do as you ask. But what about Inspector Lestrade?
I will deal with him. Goodbye.
It's good that you asked me to come, Mr. Holmes. We do need to talk.
About what?
What do you mean? Our case, Mr. Holmes. You sent me a message via your little thug,
His name is Wiggins.
telling me that the... Tell me, who's the murderer and where is he?
The morgue.
Eh?
His name is, or rather was, Pablo Coventrao. He was also on the ship with Peter Carey, and he was a harpooner. I'll tell you everything, Inspector, but do come. Mrs. Hudson will bring us tea and orange cake.
Orange cake? You're spoiling me, Mr. Holmes. That's my favourite.
Don't say.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. Inspector Lestrade told me that I should thank you for clearing my name. He also said that you were waiting for me here. I came as fast as I could. I cannot thank you enough. It is all because of you that this nightmare is finally over.
I believe that this belongs to you.
My father's securities. Incredible! But how did you get them?
It would take far too long to explain.
Tell me. This is extraordinary. You are a genius.
Then that may serve as an explanation. Goodbye, Mr. Nelligan, and good luck.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes. And thank you. 1,000 times thank you.
Personality ranking. Sympathizing. Aye, aye, Captain. Finish Black Peter case. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it on Black Peter case there. That's all for now. If you liked what you saw, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Nuns Got Guns, or you can click the like and follow button on Twitch at the Church of Villains. Nuns Got Guns, and I am signing out. Xbox in broadcast.